Well, we now turn to the coronavirus and how it's affecting churches. Should services be held? What about communion? And how can Christians serve in difficult times like these?
And Brian Tome is the pastor of one of the fastest growing churches in America, Crossroads Church, based in Cincinnati, and he joins us now. Pastor Tome, it's good to have you. Thank you for being here.
John, Janet, great to be with you.
So first, your thoughts on the coronavirus. I know you recently released a video with a message about the panic that we've all been seeing in our communities.
Yeah, I think what we all have to recognize is all leaders, whether they're in government, professional sports league, education, whatever, everyone is in virgin territory right now. Everyone is trying to figure out the best thing to do because none of us have trained for this before. And, we know a lot about the Black Plague and influenza, but we didn't have the understanding of science way back when. So everyone's trying to do the right thing as per their leadership they have, and basically right now flatten the curve. We're trying to keep the curve down because what's going to happen, and this is what the estimates are with many people who, understand things, is once the hospitals get too overwhelmed, and people I know are running hospitals, they're close to being overwhelmed already. Once they get overwhelmed and respirators have run out and other things have run out, then we can't get care to our citizens. So the better we can stop the potential spread now, the better off it is. So those of us who are leading things that are larger and can control mass gatherings where things could be spreading, many of us are just making the choice, hey, let's serve our community and just not take a chance on this, especially if we have other means to gather the church and to worship and connect.
Pastor Tome, how do you see this through a spiritual lens?
Well, from a spiritual lens, the scriptures say God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and self-discipline. So I've been the main guy the last several days. I've been criticized for many for not being fear-based and not being freaked out about this. This is not like a fearful thing for me. I ride 80 miles an hour with no helmet on my motorcycle. I'm not a fear guy. We've never canceled ever services because of snow in our area. Never have. This is a different one though, Jenna, because this one's like, man, I don't want people to literally die on my watch because I'm just plowing through. So he's not giving a spirit of fear, but of love. I want to love people, even who don't go to this church. I don't want carriers to possibly get something. Power, I want to use the ability I have right now to make calls that are right, and I want to make it in a self-disciplined way. So this isn't a fear-based move on our part. I'm not saying all churches need to make this move, but for stewarding the responsibilities God given me and the number of people that are under my care in specific environments, we've got some of our environments, the same amount of people you'd have at a college football game, certainly larger than any class. We've got basically campuses, many of our places. So, yes.
Pastor Tome, sorry to interrupt. The church historically has played a role in serving Christians in times like these, especially the sick. And as you were just saying, we don't want to be reckless. So how can Christians, from a practical level, help bring peace in the midst of the panic?
Yeah, this is great. What we're communicating and shutting down services this week, public services this weekend, is Christians need to be engaged. The early church would run to people who were having leprosy because everyone abandoned them. The early church said, no, my Bible tells me to pick up my cross and follow him daily. My Bible tells me to die every day. That's what that means. That means in moments like this, you don't fear for your life. So we should be hugging people who want to be hugged. We should be smiling at all kinds of people. We should not be carriers of fear. We should be carriers of joy, hope, and love. Martin Luther, when things got awful in the Middle Ages with the plague, he took people into his house. Now, he didn't understand all of science, but he took people into his house, actually caused his daughter to die. The rest of them were fine, but all of them were operating boldly. Believers need to be operating boldly. We need to be smiling boldly. We need to be loving our neighbors boldly. We need to be helping people boldly. If we all retreat into our houses and just catacomb ourselves inside of our houses, we're not doing the gospel any favors. Get out there, interact with people, serve people. We just have to be wise when we have events where there's hundreds and thousands of people to gather together. That's probably not that smart.
All right, Pastor Brian Tome of Crossroads Church, thank you so much for your time today.
You're welcome.